Hey everyone, and welcome back to Elden Ring. In this episode, we are going to go through the remainder of the field or open world bosses in the Limgrave area. It should take us probably the full episode. Not going to guarantee that we will finish or beat all of them. But we are going to at least attempt them a few times, especially the one in the Evergel. That one is extremely difficult, but I do want to try and show it off. Same with the boss here on the bridge. This one here, the dragon that's going to be here on the island, is challenging, but definitely doable. And same with the boss here with the Tree Guardian, the Tree Sentinel. So, I think what I'd like to do is start with the Tree Sentinel. So let's go to the Church of Ella, see if we have any more upgrades that we can do with our weapons, and then we'll go ahead and start. I'm pretty sure that we have everything upgraded as much as we're able to right now, but if not, it'll be good to do that. So armaments. Okay, so we don't have enough smithing stones to get either of these up to a +3, which is fine. I think that we're going to be okay. I'm going to go ahead and leave the Bloody Slash on the Twin Blade. I'm going to change it to daytime, and that's the time until morning. If you want to craft anything for this fight, you can. We'll take a look and see what there is to do. Don't really need any of these. He doesn't do poison or blood attacks. Fireproofing. Sorry, when I say fireproofing, I mean this increases our fire damage negation. He doesn't do any fire damage, so that's not going to be a concern. The turtleneck meat we don't really need. I'm pretty sure that we still have the green turtle talisman. Maybe some of the exalted flesh. We already have a couple, so there's no need to equip any more or make any more. Doing more bleed damage might help. And yeah, we don't really need any arrows. So if you want to try some throwing pots, you can. I don't know if it's significantly weak against anything. Having additional blood or bleed buildup is always going to be helpful against like a humanoid type boss that so like mechanical things, or like the giant stone golems, I don't think bleed works against them. The imps, like the stone creatures, that's not really going to work. Let's go ahead and make a couple of these just in case. It's not going to hurt to try. Take off the holy water pot. If you want to use some of your throwable items, you can. So let's go ahead and equip that, the exalted flesh, and I've never tried sleep against it, so I don't know if that would help. But this one is just the solidified blood grease, and that is going to put actual blood scaling on our weapon instead of just doing blood damage or bleed damage when we have used the Bloody Slash. Sorry, I had to cut out my coughing fit there. So against the Tree Sentinel, I don't typically like to summon, just because I'm a little bit more familiar with his moveset, and I don't like him attacking the other summons and not me. So his attacks are very, very hard hitting, but they're pretty easy to dodge once you get used to the timing of them. Jump attacks work really well. I don't know if that hit him or not. But using magic against the Tree Sentinel is not a great idea. So actually two-handing this might help. Alright, so he killed me already, and you can see just how little damage I did. Yeah, having a +3 weapon would definitely help here. We can try it with the katana, since that one's a +3. I don't know if it's really going to do much more damage, but I don't know why I did that. Let's go into equipment. It does a little more damage. Holy damage isn't going to do anything against him, but this one just naturally does the bleed buildup, so we aren't going to need the bleed grease. So let's go here. We'll unequip that, and yeah. All right, let's give it a try. So if you use magic against the Tree Sentinel, he will use his shield and block it, but his shield has like a special ability where it like almost like it absorbs the magic that you throw at him, and ooh, those were some good dodges. It absorbs it and then it like blasts it back at you with a holy attack. Okay, this is going much better. Oh god. I was thinking I was about to do the unsheath attack. I forgot that I had the holy. I always find it best to dodge towards the Tree Sentinel when he's attacking you. And then if you get behind him like that, you have a very good chance of being able to do a jumping attack or a charged heavy, which is going to do a very good amount of damage. And his horse can also attack you with those, like when it rears up like that. It also has an attack if you're right next to it. He can kind of, I'm going to call it a shoulder check, but I don't know if that's necessarily what a horse does, so. Doing fairly well. With a lot of the really big boss fights in this game, one of your best things to do is just dodge as much as you can and learn some of the enemy's moves and get used to that, and then start attacking when you feel comfortable and have an opening. There's no time limit on the bosses. You don't have to beat them within a certain time frame. And he'll do shield slams like that. That's more towards like when you get to the halfway point in its health, he starts adding some of these attacks. That's a good one to kind of jump into when he does the shield bash on the ground. I dodged away that time because I wanted to have a chance to heal, but if you dodge into it, then there's a really good opportunity to do a jumping attack or a charged heavy behind it. So that was not good. There we go. Okay, so I'm on my last heal. I feel like I have a good opportunity to beat him still if I play really well. But if we die, we die. I'm not overly concerned. The whole point of gaming is to have fun. And yes, as challenging and frustrating as these games can be, I honestly find it to be very relaxing and fun. So oops. All right, well, that fight went much better. It might be a good idea to put Unsheath back on this one. But I'm going to probably just cut to my successful attempt at beating this boss, just so that I'm not wasting a whole bunch of time with everybody watching me die against this over and over. So I'm going to go back here to the Site of Grace, and I'm going to go down to Ashes of War for the Uchigatana. I mean, you can put on whatever you want, but I really like the Unsheath, so I'm going to do that. 9. This looks like it would do a little bit more damage, so we would be going... Oh no, we wouldn't. So standard is still going to give us the most physical damage. All right, so that's what I'm going to use for my setup, and then I will cut back to my successful attempt against the Tree Sentinel. I will see you then. You can stagger the Tree Sentinel. It doesn't give you like the glowing spot to be able to do a charged heavy attack or a charged critical attack, but you can stagger him, so that's definitely something to be aware of. So doing the jump attacks and charged heavies and unsheath are definitely going to be good for building up the stagger gauge. Ooh, that was a cool looking attack. So overall, I'm very, very much happier with how this round is going. All right, there's the stagger. So the stagger does give you an opportunity to do another heavy attack against him. So, oh my god, that was terrible. But here we go again. So this episode might just end up being me versus the Tree Sentinel and none of the other bosses. So always a good idea to pick up your runes when you die. So if I'm not able to beat him within the next few tries, or if we end up needing to come back and fight him later, there are some things that we're going to do story-wise and like progressing the game-wise that will help us to increase our weapon strength. So that's definitely going to make it better if we can do more damage to him. Another good thing would not be to die. And it is possible to fight him on torrent, but I've always found the dodging and dashing to be very, very confusing and difficult when you're locked onto an enemy. So I personally just prefer to fight them on foot. This is an optional boss. You don't have to beat the Tree Sentinel to progress the story of the game. So if you're feeling overwhelmed or just want to come back later, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I might give this one 1 or 2 more attempts. If I don't make any more progress on his health bar, then I might use it as an example of increasing the weapons using some of the Somber Smithing Stone 2, and just to show what a difference that makes in terms of the damage and the scaling that we can do. So actually, I am also going to cast some magic just to show you what it is he does. Stone of Arc, why that one? See, there you go. So that's what he does with his shield. If you cast magic and he blocks it with the shield, he absorbs it and then just throws it right back at you. So, like I said, this fight is manageable. It is doable if you can learn all of his moves, but it is very difficult. So let me try one other thing. I don't think I can use this one yet, can I? No, I'd have to have 1 more point in strength to two-hand that one. I'm going to give it 1 more shot with the Twin Blade, two-handing it. If I don't succeed this time, then we will come back and fight the Tree Sentinel at a later time. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in it. If you end up wanting to use a summon, there's also no shame in that. So just do your fights and do the bosses the way that you want to do them. It's your character, so play it how you want to. If you're like legitimately wanting to cosplay as a paladin or like a magic only sorcerer, then do that. Well, this is going much better. I didn't realize that staying so close to him was going to be that useful. So this fight's going much better. The bleed attack did pretty well. Just make sure that if you're using the bleed attack, watch your own health, which I was not doing. So, all right, so we'll come back to him in a little bit, and since I'm going to be cutting out a good portion of that fight, let's go and try fighting. Let's take a look at the map. So I'm going to come up here and fight the boss in the Everjail. We'll try that one a couple times just to kind of show you what that one is. And then, again, we'll probably come back to that later. And then I'll do the dragon and the other night boss on the bridge in the next episode. Maybe not. I'm only at about 20 minutes recording, and that's before cutting anything out. So we might try each of the bosses once or twice just to kind of get a look at them, and then do some upgrading later. All right, so again, right out into this field here from the, what was that one called? Stormhill Shack, where the maiden, Roderica, is hanging out and waiting. And then we'll come over here to the Everjail. Went a little bit too far. And this one is actually really nice because if you die in the fight, you can respawn at the Stake of America. I'm trying to see where it is on the field. But it's really close by. So if you die here, it's not like you have to run from the... you don't have to run from the side of grace every single time. It's not that far of a run back anyway, but it's still nice to know that you don't have to go as far. So this guy, magic, if you have a shield blocking, trying to parry his attacks is going to be very useful. This is a Crucible Knight. If he hits me, I'll probably die in maybe one hit, is going to be my guess. So... So yeah, there you go. That's the Crucible Knight. Very, very difficult. If you can get the timing down on parrying, so you can either go to the last site or you can go to the Stake of America, or use a small shield and learn how to parry well with that using the L2 button, you can get a lot of critical hits against him. So I will make an attempt. So shield, L2, that's what your parry looks like. You just have to try your best to time when he's doing his attacks. And I honestly don't know how to teach that. It's really tough. Sorry, I had to cut a little bit there. Anytime that you die inside the Everjail, your runes will be dropped outside of it. So you can always pick those up and not have to worry about dying before you get back to the fight. So let's go ahead and try it again. This time I'll try doing some parries against him. Again, this guy, we probably will just want to wait until we have a much stronger weapon and much better armor. That one I don't think you can parry. That one you can, that overhead slice. So like after he does the stomp, if you can time it right and know when he's going to do the stomp attack, you can actually jump and the little quake on the ground won't hurt you. So I can easily tell you about it, but it's harder to actually do it in practice. So like I said, I am not very good at fighting these guys. I'm decent at dodging and trying to stay back and casting magic spells at them, but yeah, it is a very challenging fight. But man, it feels so good when you finally beat him. And sometimes the best way to heal is to run as far away as you can. and then heal, because the input, was it input tracking, or yeah, where they somehow know the buttons that you're pushing. When you try to heal, he'll do like this dash attack and just stab straight at you, and it's extremely frustrating and annoying. So, but yeah, we'll try him one more time, and then maybe we'll try the night boss. I want to try and get the dragon on the first try or second try. So I might save the dragon for a separate episode. But let's try the Crucible Knight again, and then we'll move on and see what else might be worth doing. All right. I really want to try to get at least one parry against him, so I'm going to just keep the shield. You can block. As you can see, it does use up a lot of our stamina. That one, I felt like that was a close. Yeah, that's the rush stab thing that he does. I feel like my timing has been... There it is again. I feel like my timing has been very close on some of the parries. And he has a lot of very relentless combo attacks that he just keeps coming at you. Yeah. All right, I'm done trying against him. He is very easy to push you to the point of frustration. So let's go to the site of America so that we can pick up our runes quickly and easily. And then I will show you something on the map that we can do to mark where we have enemies or bosses that we want to come back to. So on the map screen, you can zoom in and out. I think I've already shown that. I've shown placing the beacons with the A button, and we also have markers with the X button or the square on PlayStation. So if you wanted to mark, like, I know that there's a weapon here, or I don't know why you'd want to mark that, or like maybe this is, you can call this for yourself a group of enemies, or this one is a strong enemy. This is the one I'm going to use actually. Or here's an NPC, or a group of animals that I can farm to get supplies. So there's a lot of different markers you can use. So I'm just going to place that marker on the map just as an indicator for, you know, if I'm looking at the map later in the game and I realize, oh, there was an enemy there, we can still go fight him. And you can see the marker on your compass when you're in close proximity to it. But it's not like the beacons that you can put that you can see from a distance. So pretty sure I got the item that was out here. I think that was a smithing stone, wasn't it? Yeah. And yeah, I don't think that there's any other smithing stones that I've missed that would help us to increase one of the weapons right now. So let's go ahead and fast travel down to the Aghill Lake North, and I will show you the nighttime boss over here on the bridge. It's going to be another enemy on horseback. This one I struggled with when I was practicing before recording. It's a very tough boss, so I'm going to go ahead and put it to nightfall. And then we are going to head over to the bridge. And I'm pretty sure that this one is susceptible to bleed. So either having a weapon that innately will do bleed buildup is definitely going to be helpful. But also using the twin blade right now with the bloody slash is going to be a pretty good option as well. So it's best to take this group out here before the fight starts, just so that they don't interfere. And there is the enemy right there that we're going to be fighting. So magic does work fairly well. I don't know if that was close enough. No. So this one is the Night Cavalry. Some of his attacks, I know I keep calling everyone him and his, but all of the attacks from this enemy, I'm sorry, a lot of the attacks from this enemy are very similar to the Tree Sentinel, but this one it's much faster and a lot more, in my opinion, unpredictable. And he's the one, this enemy is the one that does the, jeez, that missed, the shoulder bash thing with the horse. Yeah, finding your moments to get a hit in against this enemy is very tough, so magic can do well to weaken it. If you can get in and do some quick hits with your swords, or getting in close enough to do a charge attack is definitely going to be good. But it is kind of hard to find some of those openings. There was one. Yeah, bleed damage does a lot against it. A whole lot. That was really good. And with this enemy, you can actually damage the horse and knock the rider off of it, so whiff. So again, using the bloody slash, make sure that you're keeping an eye on your own health. Oof. Wow. Just gonna go ahead and switch to two-handed, that way I can do more light attacks if I can get in close enough. There we go. So again, just take your time. I'm probably not going to win, and I'm okay with that. But just definitely take your time. Don't rush your attacks, especially when you get its health close to being gone. You definitely don't want to rush in and get your combo interrupted when you could have just had that one last hit. So just wait for your openings. That one worked well, where I actually jumped to do a jump attack and it went over his, I think it's called a glaive, or his halberd, or whatever the type of weapon it is. Doing all right. I really don't want to use bloody slash anymore, just because I don't want to take up any more of my health since I don't have any heals left. I might use it as a last resort though. I can get close enough. Oof, that was not smart. That was good. Patience. Patience. And be careful of the other guys around us right now. Ooh, ooh. Much patience, much patience. I am so close to beating him. And I have absolutely no way of healing. Dang it. Okay, that went way better than my practice did. I struggled so badly against him. So bleed definitely is a good way to go. I'm going to try it one more time, and that'll be the end of the episode, whether I win or lose. The frustrating part about this fight is that you will always respawn in the daytime. So make sure you pick up your runes if you die. And then you can either ride back or fast travel back to the site of grace, change it to nighttime, and we'll give that another attempt. So I'm not gonna, well, maybe no. Trying to decide if I want to quote unquote waste my time using magic or if I'm just going to two-hand the weapon. Because when I got in there and actually did that combo of quick attacks, that seemed to work pretty well. So I might just two-hand it and see what happens. That's another great thing about this game, is that even if you're struggling against a boss, just try something else, try a new tactic. The worst that's going to happen is that you're going to die again and have to try again. The best that could happen is that you might find a new playstyle that you really like, or you might end up beating it, and that's really cool. So, all right. We definitely don't want to fight him on the bridge or fight it on the bridge. It's just way too easy to fall off of the edge, so that was a good start. That attack, be very careful of when he drags his halberd across the ground. Even if it's not being swung at you, it can still damage you while he's scraping it, so be aware. Okay, so that blood attack, it looks like it did some damage to the horse. So if you can manage to take the horse's health all the way down, then you'll knock the rider off and you can get a critical when it's on the ground. Okay. Wish I had more than 2 heals right now. Something else that you can do if you know you're going to fight against it and not use magic or FP at all, you can go ahead and transfer all of your flasks into healing. That way you don't have any of the cerulean tears, you're only going to have the healing, the crimson ones. So that might be another option to consider. Jeez. I just need to stop using the bleed attack. Nope. That'll work. And heal. And just continue taking our time and getting messed up. Heal again, and we are done healing. Alright, I think we've almost got the horse all the way down. So we might be able to get a critical. That'd be kind of nice. Patience. Patience. Okay, so yeah, the horse is definitely closer than the boss to being done. Dead. If you do take out the horse, though, and you can fight against him on the ground, the horse will respawn after a certain amount of time. So, again, be aware of that, just in case I don't get the opportunity to show it. So, like I said, very unpredictable, which is kind of annoying. Alright, we might get... Come on. Oh, we're so close to being able to get a critical. Oof. Come on. Get in here. There you go. There we go. So when he's on the ground, push right up against him, and that did it. Did we win? I actually won with a critical. That was really, really good. What a great way for me to end my episode. And we got the Ash of War repeating thrust. So let's take a look at that. And we got like what, 2,500 runes, something like that. All right. So we picked up the repeating thrust, and you twist To build power, then unleash a flurry of thrusts. So this is usable on armaments capable of thrusting. So I think the 2 weapons we have that can use that one are the lance, I believe, because that one does have some thrusting attacks, and the rapier, the great épée. So this one has impaling thrust, but we would now be able to use the repeating thrust if we wanted to. So wow, that was awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting to beat that boss today. So I am very happy with that. I hope that you have just as much luck with defeating the Night Cavalry as I did. But let's go ahead and run back here to the site of grace and rest up, get everything replenished, and then I will discuss what we're going to do next time, which will most likely be spending the episode attempting to fight the dragon. And I guess we don't need to rest. So we'll attempt to fight the dragon. We got that one. Sorry, I had to cough again. I'm going to put another marker here for the Tree Sentinel so that we can come back to that. And that's pretty much everything else that there is to do, is just fighting against the dragon. And then once we do that, we are going to go through the sending gate. And actually, that's what we'll do. There's a few things that we can do where the sending gate takes us to, which is then going to unlock what we'll do in the next episode after that. And by getting to that point, we'll be able to increase the strength of our weapons quite a bit. We'll have access to buying some more of the smithing stones, I believe the level 1s and possibly level 2s. But it's going to open up a lot more opportunities for us. And then once we're finished with everything here, we're going to continue south into the next area of the map of the lands between. So with that, I just want to say thank you again for joining me. I hope you're enjoying the playthrough that I'm doing. And if you're playing along with it, I hope that you're doing well and enjoying the game. And I will see you next time.